Hey, good morning to everybody. Happy Saturday. It's Daryl here. It is bright and freaking early, man. It's not even 3 a.m. here in Connecticut on the East Coast. Man, I did like 3 or 4 videos I have lined up waiting to download right now. I did one on the big waves in California and my own surfing. I did one about Nikki Haley's ridiculous comments about the Civil War. I've got another one about why I don't tell you guys, I don't ask you guys to subscribe or hit the like, to smash the like button or subscribe button. You'll never hear me say that. So I got 3 videos right there, and I'm doing this one this morning. A lot on my mind. Okay, I came across a picture in an article this morning, and it blew my mind. I came across a smoking hot picture, a sexy picture of a woman that I'd be proud to date. I would love to have on my arm, as they say, a woman that I'd be very interested in private, that would arouse my imagination, let's just say. Okay, who am I talking about? I'm talking about 82-year-old Martha Stewart. Yes, my mother is going to turn 80 in 2 months. So Martha Stewart is 2 years older than my mom. And she looks freaking smoking in this picture. You know, granted, I don't know how to use, like with videos and even with pictures, I don't really know how to use the apps, what do they call it, to make me look better. I don't use those. I'm sure Martha Stewart does. Okay, so this picture, I'll have the links down below to the story and this and I have the actual Instagram link to Martha Stewart's. I think it's Martha Stewart 48 on, and she's not 48. I have the actual link right down below so you guys can check it out yourselves. So this morning I want to talk a little bit about age, and I'm going to turn 58 next month, and my thoughts on this. One thing this is how I want to start this video out. One thing I always wondered when I was younger, say when I was in my teens, in my 20s, 30s maybe, I used to look at older couples, like people's parents. I lost my father when I was 9, so I'm not talking about that. Or grandparents, and they still seem so attracted to each other. Or you actually see like an older man dating an older woman, and you hear about the intimacy between them. And I always wondered, how does that happen? How does like, say I'm a man, how does my attraction change? Because when I was younger, I was attracted to when I was a teen, I was attracted to teen girls and girls in their 20s. When I was in my 20s, I was attracted to pretty much women of any age. And I wondered about that. I wondered, say, when I was 60 years old, if all of a sudden my tastes would change, and I would find, I hate to say this, but because I have wrinkles myself, but all of a sudden would I find wrinkles attractive and young girls less attractive? And how does that work? How does the male sexuality or whatever, how does it change with time? And women, how does it happen? As you get older, are you attracted? Say when you're 60 or 70 years old, are you attracted? Is it just natural that you are attracted to women of your own age? Or are you doing it just because you have to, just because society says it's right? And I always wondered that question. And honestly, I don't think I really still have an answer for you. I think it is part of natural selection. Right now, like if I saw, like I could see a picture of a woman in her, say, early 20s. I want to be decent here. And honestly, I could see that if I saw like a beautiful picture of a full-figured 20-year-old woman right now, or 21-year-old woman right now, I would see that she's beautiful and attractive, but I wouldn't look at her in a sexual way. I see that she's hot, and I'd imagine being with her when I was younger, but looking at her, there's something about their face looks so young. It reminds me of like a daughter or a young girl, even though I don't have kids. I think it is something natural in our DNA, where we're just not attracted. As you get older, you're not attracted to say a woman 40 years my junior, or 35 years my junior. So I was wondering, does wrinkles become attractive? Do breasts that are a little lower, and does that become attractive as you get older? And I don't have all the answers to this, but I'm going to tell you what I find attractive, what I've always found attractive. I've always been attracted to older women. And I'm going to give some examples. There's one troubling example that I'm going to talk about, and I'm not going to tell you guys too much. I've done videos about it before, but you'll see what I'm saying. Okay, this picture of Martha Stewart, I think her hair, I want to talk about this first. Her hair looks sexy, it looks unkept. A lot of times I dated women that were always concerned about their hair, especially back in the 80s and 90s, when big hair was a thing. And the women were so concerned about their hair, like at the beach or on a roller coaster or at the amusement park, and it really became a drag. Where messy hair was just sexier. If the woman didn't have makeup on and her hair was a mess, she actually looked, it looks natural. It looks sexy. It looks like something you would picture waking up to in the morning. To be honest, there's a lot of times I think women don't need makeup. They don't need to have their hair perfect or whatever. Okay, now this picture, this is what I'm going to talk about, because this is the first thing my eyes went to. I'm going to be completely 100% honest with you guys. My eyes went right to this area right here, her chest, her breasts. I have always, this is something that I noticed. I don't know if guys are also, a lot of guys are like me and just are like embarrassed to admit it, or if I'm in the minority. But I've always found women's breasts. I'm less attracted to perky, tight, firm breasts with with smaller areola. I don't know if I could say that in a monetized video. I've always been attracted to larger, pendulous breasts. To me, I'm going to tell you why in a second too. And honestly, I'll be honest with you guys. I've always been extremely attracted to larger areola. The larger the areola, the hotter I think it is. And even in veins, when you can see veins in the woman's chest, and and I'll tell you exactly why too. To me, that is womanly. That's womanly. The veins, the areola. Guys don't have big areolas, if they're called areolas, but guys, and guys don't have veins. And just the swinging, I'll be totally, once again, I'll be totally honest. Every time, I think all guys are like this, and I think all women are like this too. Whenever I see a woman in the store, in the mall, even now, the first thing I think of is me in bed with her with no clothes on and in some position. Every woman I see, except for probably relatives, of course. I don't. Of course, that doesn't go through my mind with relatives, but every single woman I see, I picture without clothes on immediately. I'll be honest, that's the truth. I'm willing to bet most guys are like this too. Okay, so now that I fessed up a lot, let me talk about my very first time I was intimate. And this is the time I was talking about. This was not good. It was not hot. I was 14 years old, and my friends all knew about this. The man that was dating my mother was a predator, and he set me up to lose my cherry, so to speak, when my mother was at work. She worked all night as a nurse, and it was not a good situation. It was not something I like to remember. My friends all knew this was going to happen, and they begged me to get set up too, to lose their innocence. I was 14, and this woman was probably in her mid-30s. And this is the first time I lost my innocence. I don't think that's why I'm attracted to older women, though. I don't know. I just feel more comfortable with older women. I feel like I said, I feel like younger women are a little more narcissistic, more concerned about their looks or how they're perceived, or immature, I guess you'd say. And I've always been attracted to, I think, women older than me know what they want. They're more, let's get down to business kind of thing. And this, I think my hobbies, my interests are more suited for somebody that's older, as opposed to, throughout my whole history, I've always dated, like in high school. I used to be overweight, and I was a geek and everything. And when I became a freshman Uh, I lost the weight. I moved to the tough, the hard, the bad side of the tracks. I learned how to protect myself, how to fight. And the very first woman I started dating in high school, I was a freshman, and she was a very popular junior. And she was like the captain of the volleyball team, and she was gorgeous, a gorgeous brunette, full-figured, athletic, gorgeous brunette. And I guess you could say my stock value just shot as soon as other girls saw me with as a freshman. I was dating a junior. The rest of my high school years were great. I remember this one time when I was about 14 or 15 years old, and like I said, my mother worked at night. And I was attracted to like this 28-year-old woman who trained horses at a barn up the street. She's almost twice my age. And my mother went to work one night. She'd work all night from 11 to 7 in the morning. And I actually got up the audacity to call this woman on the phone, like at 11 o'clock at night when my mother went to work. And I said it really quick. I said, like, I'm home alone. Why don't you come over? Come over and see me. Or it's Daryl. I'm home. I said something like that. And then I hung up the phone really quick. Because I wanted, I still can't believe I did this. So a few days later, I run into her. I see her at a store. Like I said, I was 14. She was like 28. And she's like, Daryl, come here. I want to talk to you. And I was like so embarrassed. And she's like, what happened the other night? Why'd you call me like that? And I said, I made up this thing about, I said, my friends dared me to do it. I was like, I'm so embarrassed. And that was a lie. It was all me, man. I wanted her to come over. Looking back, I still can't believe I had the nads to do that at 14 years old, to call up a 28-year-old woman and invite her over to my house when my mother was out. Anyway, the links will be down below. I got so many more videos lined up for you today. Let me know what you think. I think Martha Stewart looks freaking hot in this picture. If she would date me, I would date her right now. I'll tell you that. All right, I'll be back later. You guys have a good Saturday.